Alright everyone, today we are looking at Christopher Columbus. He's a famous man, a holiday. A holiday for him is coming up soon. We're going to be looking at where did Christopher Columbus come from and why is that man so famous. So Columbus was born in a world that many Europeans thought looked very much like this. They knew Europe pretty well. This is a map from the early 1400s. Africa's there. You also have India and Asia, but other than that, Europeans were quite unknowledgeable about the Americas. So Columbus was born in the Republic of Genoa, part of modern-day Italy. Later became part of Italy. At the time, though, it was an independent republic. Genoa, it's in the northwest. We're going to zoom in. Northwest of Italy, right on the coast. So Columbus was born, most people think in Genoa. There's some people that think elsewhere, but we won't worry about them. Born in Genoa. His father was a wool weaver and also owned a cheese shop. So Columbus came from fairly humble backgrounds, but around the age of 10 or so, he claims, is when he took to the sea and where he later gained his fame and notoriety. So as a young sailor, he sailed from Genoa. If you look there, it's on that left where it begins. He started sailing, sailed all the way to what was then it's an island of Chios. It's out in the what's now we would call Greece. He also, as a young boy, sails all the way to England. He also sails all the way to Ireland. And from Ireland, one year, he sails to Portugal. He sails to Portugal to meet up with his brother. And in Portugal, he really starts going much further. He sails all the way to, off the map. He sails all the way to Ghana, or what is today Ghana. So he starts seeing much more of the world, including Africa. So in his travels, Columbus is seeing a lot of the world, and he's getting a lot of ideas about the world. He ends up being a fairly well-read, but mostly self-educated man. And he reads a lot about Marco Polo, who travels all through the Middle East into China. He becomes intrigued and fascinated by these travels. And he starts studying a lot of maps. And he eventually believes, this is known as the Columbus map from 1490, he believes that if you sailed west far enough, you would end up in India, you would end up in Asia. Now, today we know that's very wrong, but at the time he thought it was only about a 2,000-mile journey, which seems fairly long, but in reality that journey is 12,000 miles. So if you look here, this is what he believed the ocean looked like, which is wrong, but he thought very much that there was no North America nor South America, that he would be able to get to Asia fairly quickly. So he wanted to try this out. He wanted to be the man to bring them to Asia. So to do so takes a lot of money. To do so takes some funding. So since Columbus is in Portugal, he first approaches King John II. He asks him to fund 3 ships and give him time to find this western route to Asia, also known as the Orient. King John says no. He does not want to risk failure, and it's going to cost a lot of money. He also doesn't think that the journey would take as short a time as Columbus says. So Columbus goes elsewhere. He then heads, he actually sends his brother to England, and he asks King Henry VII to fund his expedition. King Henry also says no. So eventually he approaches Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain. Now, Ferdinand and Isabella are extremely important. They've been uniting the kingdoms on the peninsula, and they very much have a lot of power. However, they're also fighting the Muslims at the time, so initially they say no. However, Columbus is very persistent, so finally Isabella and Ferdinand say, yes, we will fund you. So they give Columbus financing to get 3 ships. He gets the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. He has crews, and in 1492, Columbus sets sail for the New World. So that first voyage, he leaves in August 3rd to be precise, of 1492, and sails across the Atlantic Ocean. If you look at the map here, it's the bottom line, bottom black line that you see. He sails across, and it turns out to be a 5-week voyage at sea. 5 weeks later, though, as they're sailing across the sea, one of Columbus's crewmen, he calls out that he has seen land. Columbus ends up taking credit for this discovery, but they see land and they land in what is now the Bahamas. What happens afterwards? Well, that's what we will be discussing in class tomorrow, so I won't spoil the fun. That's Columbus and how he gets to the New World.